This video is brought to you by Sim Racing Center. Today, we're going to be showing you the fastest way to tackle the Interlagos circuit for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Such an iconic circuit, this one, and we are going to be absolutely sending it on the Hotlap. Heading down in towards turn one, hard on the brakes, dropping it down into third gear, then get it tucked over through the right, take as much curb as you possibly can on entry and exit. Really hug the left-hander to gain every little millimeter around this circuit. Get the car back over to the right, braking at the 100-meter board. Then get the car over to the left and use all the exit curb on the right-hand side as well. Hug the turn 5 corner and then braking at the 50-meter board. Throw it in for the first one and hit the second apex as well. Use all the curb on the left-hand side and really cut the apex of the hairpin. Hug the left-hander as much as possible to gain all the time that you can. Get the car back over to the right, braking where the curb sort of starts on the right hand side. Tuck it nice and tidy on the apex once again through the left hander. Really try and hug the apex through there as well. On the brakes, over to the left, back out over to the right on the exit, and then back on the throttle all the way now as you head down in towards the start finish rate. So this is completely flat out, but keep it left as much as possible. Do not allow the car to drag out wide, even cutting the runoff area as much as possible, and that is a lap of Brazil. A little bit too quick for you. Let's slow it all down. Braking now just at where the 50-meter board disappears, so we're literally right in line with that point at the moment. Use the runoff area on the right-hand side to angle the car a bit better, dropping it down to third gear. Use all the curb on the left, then again on the right, then again on the left again. As you can see, really just hugging this left-hander. Get the DRS open and head down this back straight. Of course, a great opportunity to overtake come race day. Now braking here just before the 100-meter board, so this is where you want to be braking. You can brake a little bit earlier at the runoff area, but if you want to gain that extra time, this is as late as you want to be braking for this corner. Use all the curb on the left and again on the right, but be careful not to go too far and invalidate your lap, of course. Now heading down into the next corner, braking literally right in line with the 50-meter board. You can just about see it there on the left-hand side of your screens. Little dab of brake, hit the first apex and the second one, and allow the car to run out wide. This is a tricky braking zone. It's quite hard to sort of pick it out, but you can see where the Qatar sponsorship starts to begin on the left-hand side. That's kind of could be a reference for you to use as you head through that corner. Use all the curb on the right-hand side. Then braking, just a little dab of brake through this corner just to keep the car on the left. Don't allow it to understeer too much through the left-hander. And then back on the throttle, up through the gears, hard on the brakes once again. This is the sort of reference, maybe the runoff area a little bit, that little bit of escape road tarmac on the left-hand side. Could be a reference for you to use, or where the curb starts on the right, dropping it down into third gear, and then get back on the throttle, short shifting into fourth. Over on the left, really hugging the apex as much as possible. Another corner that doesn't really have any iconic reference points for me to pick out. So this is what you're going to have to go with. Just try and memorize it, but just go for reference. The Rolex sign on the right-hand side could be one as you drop it down through the gears and then back up the gears. Once again, no references needed through here. Just keep it nice and tidy all the way through the left. Really trying to hug it as much as possible and use all this runoff area. Keep that wheel, though, on the tarmac just so you cannot invalidate your lap. And that is a lap around Brazil. Before we get into the setup, though, let's have a little word on our sponsors, Sim Racing Center. Sim Racing Center offers the best and latest F1 22 league racing setups to make sure your car is running as fast as it can. Combined with the race preparations they sell, which shows tire data, the best strategy, and a lot more to ensure you will slap the competition and be on top of your game. With these products, all you need to do is focus on your driving. If that's something you struggle with, though, get a one-to-one coaching session with esports or esport academy drivers. Sim Racing Center also offers race engineers like you have seen on the league racing series that I run on this channel, who will help you live during the race with your best strategy. Now, this is a company that I use for all of my setups. When it comes to setting up the car, I'm absolutely clueless. So these guys point me in the right direction to go as fast as I possibly can. And if you want to stay up to date with the best setups, make sure you use the code Hayden at checkout for 10% off. Here's the setup then that's going to make you faster than your friends around Brazil. On the aero, we're going 18 on the the front wing and 14 on the rear wing. There's a lot of corners around this track, but there are some really long straights that are going to give you great opportunities to overtake, so it's better to go for lower aero. On the transmission, we've gone for 60%, 50%. Again, something that only really the differential on throttle is the one that's going to change slightly, but this can be down to preference as well. If you're feeling the back end's going a bit too much, then knock that down closer to 50%. But 60-50 is what you're going to want to start with. As for the suspension geometry, again, front camber, front toe, rear toe, all the same, right, and then the other ones all the way to the left. Rear camber for this track is going to be all the way to the right at -1, so that's what you're going to be wanting to put on. Moving on to the normal suspension, and we're going for front on the suspension, 6 on the rear suspension, 1 on the front anti-roll bar, 8 on the rear anti-roll bar, 8 on the front ride height, and 3 on the rear ride height. So that's what you're going to be running on the suspension. Onto the brakes, nothing's changed. 100% on the brakes, 50% on the front brake bias, and then tyres 23.8 on both of those and 23.0 on the rear tyres. And that is the setup that's going to help you go quicker around this Interlagos circuit. Big thank you to our sponsors, Sim Racing Centre, for providing the Hotlap and the setup, and of course for sponsoring this video. And if you want 10% off at checkout, make sure you use the code Hayden for that. If you enjoy this content, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.